Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Saturday evening to you all. I hope you guys are doing well out there on this wonderful Saturday night, and certainly have had yourselves a fantastic day. And I hope you guys are having a great weekend out there so far. I know a lot of folks in the South are probably excited about the winter weather coming, the snow. I know I can't speak for everyone, but I know that if I was someone in Arkansas, Tennessee, northern Mississippi, northern Alabama right now, I would be absolutely stoked. But you guys know I'm a big winter weather fan, so we're going to speak on this. We're going to feed you guys a lot of good information. We're going to take a look at graphics from our friends from the National Weather Service, which will show towns and cities on these maps, on these snowfall total maps and ice totals. So I think you guys will appreciate it. We always do that really the night or day before a winter storm moves into an area, and that's exactly what we're going to do in this video. This winter storm is going to be much different than your typical winter storms across the South. It's going to be falling in very cold temperatures for certain areas. So we're going to speak on that. We'll speak on everything. But we also will have a segment in this video before we talk about that on this lake effect snow event that's ongoing right now. We have thunder snow popping off in areas of Buffalo right now. I got a buddy up in Buffalo. He says it's just constant thunder snow ongoing right now. So we're going to talk about that, then talk about a huge snow squall that's going to move in and affect areas in the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast tomorrow. And in fact, it's already kind of in the beginning stages of coming together on your screen. I'll point to it here in a second. So a lot of information in this video. Just want to say thank you all for the amazing support. It's been unreal. I've had about 2 or 3 videos in a row that get over like 70 to 80,000 views. I'm almost to a video to hit 100. Man, the morning that I wake up and I see on my YouTube that I hit 100,000 views, man, I don't know how I'm going to act. It's going to be crazy. But thank you all for the amazing support. Folks, I am so behind on comments, and I don't know if I'm going to catch up. I'm about 500-600 comments behind from the last 2 or 3 videos. I'll try to get to them eventually. So if you got any prayer requests in there and I missed them, questions, I do apologize. I really do. But if you folks have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. And if you guys got anything that I can pray over, please put it in the comments below. And if I don't see it initially, there's maybe hundreds, maybe thousands of others reading that prayer request too. So we all look out for one another on this channel. We pray for one another. And that's what it's all about. God is good, and it's a way to glorify God through prayer. Let's get rocking and rolling here. So there's 2 things going on. Kind of 3 things. One thing is you got a lot of lake effect snow. You got the first initial cold blast that went over the Great Lakes. This is popping off lake effect snow left and right for many people like Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, Ontario. But the most intense banding of snow is really going off Lake Erie right now where we have thunder snow. The leftovers of this other system that plagued the entire country over the last couple of days is heading on out. We're dealing with a little bit of rain and snow in Maine. Not going to speak on that anymore. And then if you look right here, this snow kind of going through St. Louis right now and just areas in the Midwest. This is our Arctic front. This is going to make its way throughout the Ohio Valley overnight into the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, potentially bringing a snow squall as far south as Washington, D.C. It's going to be an interesting thing to watch on radar tomorrow, that's for sure. In the middle of all this that you can't see, there's an Arctic boundary sagging through Texas right now. So Texas has an incredible temperature gradient where the northern sections of the state is well below freezing, locked in well below freezing. The southern sections of the state, it feels like a spring day. But this is our piece of potent energy, bringing a major winter storm across like the valleys of Oregon, Portland, Medford, Eugene, experiencing some uncommon snow and ice right now as Arctic air is oozed into the valleys, and we're seeing a winter storm right now. But this is our energy. This is going to dive down, get tapped in some Gulf moisture down here. We're going to get a huge overrunning event in these areas and a significant event just because this is in the South. Let's take a look at watches and warnings, winter storm warnings for every county in Arkansas right now. This could change, might update by the time some folks watch this. We have winter storm warnings for every county but one in Arkansas, where we still have that winter storm watch. Winter storm watch is up for a few counties in Oklahoma. Winter weather advisories for Tulsa, almost down to Oklahoma City. I can't tell if Oklahoma City is included in that, but we'll zoom into that area here in a second. Winter weather advisories up for southern sections of Missouri. Winter storm warnings up for western Tennessee, northern Mississippi, northwest Mississippi, the entire Mississippi Delta region, and all the way to almost down to Jackson. If not, Jackson is included in that winter storm warning. It's hard to tell, but we'll zoom into this here in a second. We'll know for sure. But winter weather advisories across central Texas, almost all the way down to Houston for a lot of freezing drizzle in this area. Still hanging on to winter storm watches in the teal for Tennessee, and then areas south of the warnings here in Mississippi. Winter storm watch is up for Florence and Huntsville, Alabama. Let's see if this is updated any. And it hasn't. So it's still about the same as of right now. So that's what's going on. We got some winter storm watches also for extreme western and southwestern Virginia in these regions. So let's talk about the lake effect snow first. All right. So, in fact, let's show what's going on right now. This is what's going on right now. National Weather Service out of Buffalo. You see those bolts on your screen, kind of hard to see. That's thunder snow. We're probably going to get some more thunder snow and lightning bolts to show up probably within minutes and over the next several hours. It's a pretty intense band. There's another band that's about to get really going across, the eastern end of Lake Ontario that's going to probably blast between Watertown and Syracuse. Watertown is going to get hit hard by feet of snow. Tug Hill Plateau is going to get hit good with this. We're even reporting snow in Albany, New York. But this is getting going. This is rocking and rolling. They've moved the Buffalo game, I believe, to Monday, I think. So this has actually messed with some NFL football. But talking about how this could go over the next 48 hours, right? This is going to continue. We go all the way into overnight tonight. If you're confused about the time frame, look right here. It's about 3 a.m. Eastern time. I know it's kind of hard to see on your screen. Very narrow band of heavy lake effect snow going right over Buffalo at this point. Going right over the Tug Hill Plateau. But it's going to be very narrow, just like most intense lake effect snow bands are. And the orientation of this will go right into Buffalo as we're waking up tomorrow morning. Already affecting Buffalo tonight, but it's really hitting the south end of Buffalo. And we keep this going, and look how it switches. And then it kind of wobbles, and we get into tomorrow afternoon. We'll talk more on this here in a second. And it just continues. Buffalo might let up tomorrow evening, be south of the city. And then this band really sets up and just starts to hammer the Tug Hill Plateau. And, we get all the way into tomorrow night. We get into Monday morning. This is still going, but it's very narrow. Very, very narrow at this point. And then it kind of lets up. It looks like it's starting to let up Monday afternoon, but I think that it's going to get going again probably throughout the rest of the week, at least on and off. It'll lessen up in intensity, peak in intensity, but this is all the way through Monday afternoon. You see it just keeps going. And and snowfall accumulations from this between now and Tuesday evening. Yes, that is 36.7 inches of snow, it looks like, in Watertown. Buffalo, what is that? 30 inches of snow now forecasted. They're about to get buried. And the beginning stages of unfolding right now. So this is a hefty event. A better graphic to show from the National Weather Service is this. The Buffalo now calling for 24 to 30 inches of snow. All right, that's 2 to 2.5 feet. 30 to 36 inches of snow in Watertown. 8 to 12 inches of snow in Louisville. So, Rochester, just a whopping 1 to 2 inches. But that's how these lake effect snow events are, right? Rochester typically just gets the far end fetch of it. But, man, this is a big event. This is a big lake effect snow event, and definitely not a moderate or light one. This is a big one. So you got that. You also have this Arctic boundary that's going to sweep through this area. And it's going to produce, I'm thinking it's going to produce a pretty epic snow squall in this area. We're going to start this off around midnight tonight, Eastern time. And here comes the snow moving into western PA, West Virginia, western Maryland, moving out of Ohio. Okay? And it's already cold. There's cold air coming with this snow and this kind of snow squall. So this is already adding to additional snowfall accumulations. I think in a lot of these areas, especially western PA, you already got snow on the ground. But, you keep going, and here comes that squall. This is around 7 a.m. Look at this intense lake effect snow squall moving through West Virginia. It's probably going to move through Pittsburgh. And then look how it sort of just isolates itself. You go from like kind of a broad area of moderate snow, and then you just almost get what looks like a line of thunderstorm of snow. You're going to probably get some thunder snow with this. This is moving not just through the favorite areas of western Maryland. This is starting to move all the way. Look at extreme northern Virginia. This is around 11 a.m. tomorrow, give or take an hour one way or the other. This is an intense snow squall heading towards Harrisburg, gets into the Allentown region sometime after lunchtime. And I know it shows like yellow and red here, but that's probably snow, folks. This is the Arctic front tomorrow. It blasts through D.C. sometime around lunchtime. And will it hang together for the Delmarva? We have to watch. But look, this is moving through the entire state of New Jersey. And I think we're going to get some wild weather. If you're out and about in the town in New York City tomorrow afternoon, watch out just after lunchtime. Keep your eye on the sky because you're going to see this coming. You are absolutely going to see this coming in New York City, Long Island, and really anywhere. Epic lake effect snow band. Seems like this happens once a year in this area. Moves through, slashes through southern New England, and gets all the way to Buffalo right as the sun is setting. I'm sorry, it gets all the way to Boston right as the sun is setting tomorrow evening. So this is going to be a pretty wild event, I think. Could be some heavier snow up here in Vermont and New Hampshire, but they are now forecasting, some accumulating snow from this. Watch this. We'll go through in time. You can see where the snow squall moves through. And, I saw a graphic just a little bit ago before I started this video, and it showed more snow than this. I feel like there was a graphic to show the chance for about 1 to 2 inches of snow from this event. But from what this is showing, maybe a quick ½ inch to 1 inch of snow in New York City. But look at PA. Even DC is throwing you a bone here. Maybe 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of snow. And then it drops a couple inches of snow into southern New England. But I want you to realize this. I want to show you this. Watch this. Anything that does fall, folks, watch this. You can tell where this squall line is. It's right here. Watch how the temperatures dramatically drop behind it. For example, this is around 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's just a normal kind of winter morning, Sunday morning here in eastern PA, just 30s, I would say this is above average for New Jersey. But you go to your neighbors here in western PA, it's around 10 degrees in the single digits. So you are going to feel this. If it's not snowing, you will feel this front move through. It'll blast through. You can really see it out in the ocean. And by the time you are getting into, dinner time tomorrow night, it's close to 0 degrees. It's 5 degrees in Pittsburgh. It's well below 0 all the way across Virginia. And this is going to be pretty wild, folks. I really think it is. It's going to be an impressive front. That's for sure. You're going to feel it move through. So, let's give you the update for the winter storm for the South. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a look at short range model guides because I think it's going to do well with this. But keep in mind, and I like the HRRR model. Yes, it doesn't do the best sometimes, but I prefer it overall over the NAM. So we're going to show you the HRRR model. Only goes out 48 hours. And then from 48 hours onward, I'm going to show you the Euro. So, quickly, and I know you're thinking, Mitch, please just show us what we want to see. I want to quickly say, with an Arctic front, there's going to be moisture that's going to be present when it's not going to show up on models or radar. Arctic air, dry air, squeezes out every little bit of moisture in the atmosphere, and this will fall in the form of freezing drizzle and what we call diamond dust, which means when these Arctic air masses comes in, sometimes you'll just get like this pixie dust of snow falling in very cold temperatures. And I think you'll get that in certain areas, especially up in Oklahoma, maybe Missouri, maybe Kansas. So, already starting Sunday morning, you already have some freezing drizzle. I think you're going to have freezing drizzle already across Texas tomorrow morning. And northern Louisiana, even could get light precipitation already ongoing in Arkansas. I really do. And in fact, you're already getting to 10, 11 a.m. Look at this freezing rain showing up down here. So we're going to probably be seeing that. And then we start to get into like midday Sunday. And then we start to get into Sunday afternoon. Look at this snow starting to fly across eastern Oklahoma, southeast Kansas, southwest Missouri. And this is kind of the first push. Could start off as maybe a wintry mix in Little Rock, maybe even Memphis too, before just going all the way to snow when more cold air crashes the column and it just gets colder in all levels of the atmosphere. But I think that by the time you're in the Sunday evening, I think you're getting widespread freezing drizzle to light freezing rain in Texas. It's just not showing up here, but I really think that'll be the case. I really do. But let's, and we'll kind of zoom through this, but here it is. It really starts to show it here. And this heavy band of snow begins to really take over Tennessee, which I'll zoom in closer to here in a second. And then look at the heavy snow falling in northern Mississippi and then eastern sections of Arkansas, and just an icy mess getting late tomorrow night in southern Arkansas and then northern Mississippi, northeast Texas. Okay. And then we start to get into the middle of the night, and then you're waking up Monday morning to an absolute just icy mix of freezing rain. Might be mixing with some sleet, some snowflakes up here in northeast sections of Texas where you do have that winter storm warning, but just an icy mix into this region. It really is. And then our second push of moisture gets going, probably Monday morning. This is kind of round two, even though round one and round two is kind of connected. Round two will be the heavy push, and this is when you start to get all-out winter storm conditions really in Memphis, you start to see heavy snow into this region. And then let's just get a closer look at this. And this only goes out to Monday afternoon. It's still a lot going on. Closer look, here it is. This is around 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. Look at the snow in Little Rock. Look at the snow in Memphis. Snow getting all the way into northern Mississippi, starting to get very close to Nashville. I mean, this is a 9 p.m. You got heavy snow falling in Memphis. Kind of a sleet mix here in the kind of orange color right here. Freezing rain right in here. Freezing rain down to Shreveport. You're just getting hit hard right here on the Mississippi Delta region. And then here comes the reamped area that gets going. So you might get a little break sometime tomorrow morning in Memphis. And then you get another push right here. Where are the heaviest snowfall totals going to show up in Arkansas? I think it's going to be south of Little Rock, south and east. And then maybe Memphis points south. It's tough to figure out. I think the far northern counties of Mississippi sit in a really good spot. Okay. But the Euro. Okay, we'll go from Monday midday onward because the HRR model only stops at 48 hours. And, we'll keep going. We'll go all the way to Monday afternoon. Still heavy freezing rain showing up in northern Louisiana, falling in temperatures that are at least a few degrees below freezing, which once you start to get in the 20s and freezing rain, that's when you start to have really big issues on the road. Freezing rain at 31, 32 degrees, not as big of a deal on the roads. Now on the trees, it can be still. But, I mean, look at this kind of push of snow into even further south into the northern counties of Mississippi. And you keep this going, I mean, you continue to see it. And I still think you'll be getting freezing drizzle back here in Texas. And look how this Arctic front really sags down. And by the time you're getting into the wee hours of the morning, Tuesday morning, you're getting freezing rain all the way to Jackson, Lake Charles. And then, I mean, it gets all the way to Baton Rouge sometimes Tuesday morning. And then it heads on out. So, snowfall accumulations from this, a broad look. This is what it looks like. Snow in Arkansas, pretty much every county in Arkansas is going to get snow. Southern sections of Missouri, snow. I think, pretty much everybody in Missouri is going to get maybe a little bit of snow, maybe the northern portion of Missouri. But there's a lot of people with snow on the ground in Missouri right now. I saw a picture out of Columbia, Missouri, I didn't realize how much snow they had on the ground, but they had a good bit. It kind of surprised me. But a few inches of snow expected for Oklahoma. I think a couple inches of snow in Tulsa. And then you look at the freezing rain. And bear with me, folks. I'm gonna zoom into these areas. And then that is the freezing rain forecast for these areas as of now. And Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi is starting to increase in Mississippi. All right, anywhere from a few 1/100ths of an inch to a 1/10 of an inch. So, let's go on and zoom into some of these graphics. I think you guys will appreciate this. It's going to kind of be a little blurry on some people's screens, but this is the National Weather Service out of Austin, San Antonio, Texas. Not a huge event, but they got winter weather advisories up. And just pretty much everybody in this graphic that's in the yellow, like San Antonio, Austin, LaGrange, what is that, Fredericksburg, Kerrville. I mean, just going for like a couple 1/100ths of an inch of ice to a 1/10 of an inch of ice. I mean, it's 65 degrees in like Austin right now. It's pretty wild, but this is typically how it goes. This is typically how it happens in Texas. I think you guys could probably agree with me with that. All right. What about the National Weather Service out of Houston? And this is the only graphic they got. They say freezing rain, maybe a little freezing rain sleet north of College Station, but you got winter weather advisories basically for freezing rain. It says this may result periods of light freezing rain drizzle with sleet mixed in. This may result in total ice accumulations up to a 1/10 of an inch. And we are going to have issues just with a 1/10 of an inch of ice, folks, because the further north you get up into these advisories, the colder it is in these areas. So that's a cool graphic out of Houston. Let's move on up. Let's go to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They got a pretty cool graphic up. They say the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Mineral Wells, Denton, a few 1/100ths of an inch of ice to maybe a 1/10 of an inch of ice, mainly freezing rain and sleet. Now you start to get, what is that, Palestine, not sure how y'all pronounce it, Centerville. It's saying a 1/10 of an inch to a 1/15 of an inch of just mainly freezing rain in this area. But you start to get, north and northeast of town, of Dallas-Fort Worth, Paris, maybe you're probably going to get freezing rain and maybe up to about a 1/2 inch of snow is what they're saying. And there's a timeline of this and what it's showing. So saying it's going to end by Monday morning. I could see it lasting a little bit longer. We'll see what happens. National Weather Service out of Shreveport. Shreveport, you are under a winter storm warning for freezing rain and sleet. But I mean, even south of Shreveport, Jonesboro, down the center, I mean, you folks are going to get some freezing rain. So it's saying in the winter storm warning area, it's saying basically areas in the pink along and north of I-30 may see combined accumulations of sleet and snow of 1 to 3 inches. South of I-30 in the warning, it will be likely it will be combined with a tenth of an inch to somebody could get even a half an inch of ice and sleet. Probably not a half an inch of freezing rain, ice and sleet. And then it has a discussion down here for the freezing rain in the advisory region. Could get a tenth to 2/10 of an inch of ice. We'll see if these upgrade to warnings down here. And then, excellent graphic for Arkansas for the folks in Little Rock. Awesome graphic. It really discusses this and how iffy it could be. But, a great wide range, hardy, kind of up here in the north and northeast section of Arkansas, 2 to 3 inches of snow. This section in the yellow, Harrison, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Russellville, 2 to 4 inches of snow. Was that Searcy, Little Rock, 3 to 5 inches of snow. Someone could get a little over 5 inches of snow. Brinkley has got this small area where you could see over a half a foot of snow. It says in this dotted area, it says a small band of higher amounts is possible in the dashed areas. And then it says down here, like Monticello, Prescott, it says, hey, 3 to 5 inches of snow. If sleet mixes in, amounts could be lower. But there's a wild card area down here, I think, too. The band, if it stays snow, it could be heavier. It says this band of heavier snow could shift more south with time, right into here. And then it says further adjustments are likely. So, great graphic. This is going to be a wild state, I think, for this winter storm. And then you go to the National Weather Service out of Springfield. I got some viewers in this area. Calling for about 1 to 2 inches of snow in Springfield. Branson, a little bit more, 2 to 3. Anderson, 2 to 3. Joplin, 1 to 2. So, not a big event. West Plains, 1 to 2 inches of snow. But remember, everything that falls in this area is going to just be blowing everywhere. It's just going to be rock solid. Light snowfall accumulations, but I mean, it ain't going to go anywhere because it's so cold. So, all right, let's talk about the Southeast and really just the Mid-South and the Appalachian Mountains and Deep South, okay? And then we're going to do the same thing, zoom into some of these graphics. All right, the HRRR model, remember, only goes out to 48 hours. We're starting to get into, this is around Sunday evening. And folks, I can't say this enough. This is around 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. I think there'll be some snow flying around already in sections of like eastern Tennessee, further east in southern Kentucky. I think that I know it doesn't show it in Huntsville. I think we'll already be dealing with some freezing drizzle, maybe sleet, maybe a light wintry mix. This is really cranking up for Memphis at this point. And then we start to get into the middle of the night tomorrow night. This is when the heavy snow begins to get going. It takes over the western half of, in fact, I like this better. Let's see. I always like this a little bit better. But it begins to take over the western half and central portion of Tennessee. Snow begins to fall around midnight, most likely, maybe before in Nashville. You can barely see it. This is the area it's going to be tough to figure out. Right into here. Someone, and I would argue it's more so like this. Okay? There's going to be a tight gradient of snow and no snow into here. Okay? And I'll show you what I mean here. You keep this going, we'll take it all the way to Monday morning. And then we're getting a revamping of precipitation back here. But check this out. You got snow getting into Virginia after midnight tomorrow night. You got snow showing up around Hickory Points North. It's snowing in the mountains of North Carolina. It's snowing in southeast Kentucky. It's snowing all the way up into the Delmarva region. Check out this fetch of moisture along this Arctic front that moves Monday morning all the way into Virginia. And it's going to be below freezing, so you can expect some light accumulations. It's getting all the way to Roanoke, Charlottesville, heck, maybe even D.C. And look at the snow in the northern North Carolina, Mount Airy, the Winston-Salem region. So, it's going to be wild to watch how this unfolds, but unfortunately, the cold air does not continue to sack south as much in the southeast, and the bands don't either. But, I mean, you stop it right here, you got another push of heavy snow into Memphis, heavy snow kind of south of Little Rock and sort of in this region right here. Tupelo is getting a wintry mix at this point. Huntsville, Alabama, Florence, a wintry mix. And, how long is it going to stay a wintry mix in kind of extreme northern Alabama? It's a big question. All-out winter storm in the middle of the day, Monday for Tennessee ongoing. What's going to happen with this Arctic boundary? One thing with the HRRR model is, it brings a pretty prolonged period of light to moderate snow into northern North Carolina. You're getting snow all the way into the Hampton Roads area. It's amazing how many people mention Hampton Roads in Virginia. It shows snow getting all the way to you guys. And this is the latest long range. In fact, let's see if there's another. And no, we don't have. And the OOZ will come out in a couple hours. So this is all we got. This is as far out as it goes. All right, but it shows it well. I think the green you're seeing in the mountains would be snow. But what's going to happen in Chattanooga if you keep this going? Look at this freezing rain all the way to Jackson. And man, this is the portion of the storm that's very interesting right here. It's in North Carolina. Cold, kind of the Arctic boundary is sort of doing this, right? It's kind of going up like this and sort of doing like that. Everybody in kind of this area, you don't have any cold air yet. So, it's kind of bowing up against the mountains. It's struggling to get past the mountains. But we kind of start the Euro where we left off with the HRRR model because we can't go out any further. And I know I got some people probably thinking, why aren't you showing the NAM, Mitch? I don't like the NAM. And that's just me. I don't think it's a good model. And it does well sometimes. It does. But I just don't like it. Now, I can tell you right off the dot, the Euro, it looks different. And in fact, we might have the 18Z Euro up now. Let's see. No, we do not. It's running right now, so I'd be interested to see what happens with it. But, we'll kind of start off where we left off with the HRRR model. And I could tell you right off the dot, the HRRR model, and this is something we need to watch, could knock down snowfall totals, likes more of a wintry mix of freezing rain and sleet in northern Alabama, as opposed to the Euro showing flat-out snow and further south. This gets a nice band of moderate snow into Chattanooga, all right, into the Tennessee Valley, all the way into southwest North Carolina, and several counties into northern Georgia. And you keep this going, it starts to snow heavily on the latest Euro that we have in northern Georgia Monday afternoon. And there's that thin, narrow band. It is very thin, folks. This wants to say, hey, you'll get a little bit of snow in Nashville initially, but it kind of just stays mainly light snow. But I would expect this axis of snow to be a little bit further north than what it's showing. Just my idea. So if you're looking at Nashville and saying, I just see light blue over my area, I'm telling you, I think that this will be a little bit further north. But you get all the way to Monday evening, 9-10 p.m. It's some pretty decent freezing rain ongoing in the northern half of Louisiana into the Jackson area. Cold air kind of seeping down into the Meridian area at this point. You got a moderate snow event ongoing in the Mississippi Valley, northern Georgia, the mountains of North Carolina and Tennessee. And then look at the light snow re-spreading. So you kind of get this initial push, which, by the way, the Euro doesn't really buy much. Now it gets this next push, and it gets, look at this, you get snow all the way into the triad of Piedmont, North Carolina. It looks like it's snowing in Shelby. It looks like it's snowing in Statesville. It's some moderate snow. The latest Euro is running right now. We'll see if this jogs north or south or stays about the same, but this is what we got here. But it gets light snow all the way into Richmond. And, what happens after that? It's tough. You get into Monday afternoon. Looks like the storm is starting to lighten up. You just got a lot of light snow up here in the mid-Atlantic and just light freezing rain falling across, pretty much all of southern and southwest Mississippi, especially now, as the axis of this Arctic front's more like this. And just light snow to kind of top this off in the Tennessee Valley and eastern Tennessee. And then we could deal with some freezing rain as far south as Baton Rouge sometime Tuesday. And then this heads on off. And what about our late bloomer situation? The Euro says no. So what we talked about in last night's video, some model guidance is unfortunately for my folks in eastern North Carolina, eastern Virginia, kind of dropped off from this. But this is kind of one of those situations where it could just suddenly appear again. So stay with us over the next 24 to 48 hours for that. Snowfall between now and Tuesday evening. There's that swath of snow right here. Okay. If you want to freeze this on your screen, if you won't, but I'm going to zoom into these areas from the National Weather Service here in a second. But you can see, looks like, they're going all in on the state of Tennessee. They're calling for about 1 to 2 inches of no snow in not almost called Chattanooga, Chicago. But a pretty nice event for, Kentucky. This isn't some blockbuster event. The thing that separates this from other storms is how cold the snow is going to be falling. And, it's going to be very cold. Freeze up, it's going to be an issue. But look at the freezing rain here and the deep south. Just a few 1/100ths of an inch of ice, but they are starting to increase it now, unlike Mississippi. And now they have a little bit of ice forecasting just north of Mobile now. So they're starting to call for some ice down here. Let's talk about some graphics. National Weather Service out of Jackson, Mississippi. Okay, they don't really have any accumulation thing. They do have a nice discussion. But they say up here, they always go by elevated, significant, extreme. A lot of National Weather Services in the deep south do this when it comes to winter weather. But check out where you are on the screen. Look at these areas right in here. I'm not gonna spend 5 minutes reading all that. But if you need to, pause the video. And if you can't pause the video, it's available on Google. You just literally type in NWS Jackson, Mississippi, and you can go right to this graphic. Awesome graphic from my folks in Memphis. Excited for you folks. I really am. I'm a little jealous. Not even gonna lie. But I mean, this was updated around 4 p.m. Central Time. So I mean, 6 to 8 inches of snow in Little Rock. This is a more kind of detailed graphic than the folks in Little Rock. They're actually saying different amounts for cities. Going from 4 to 6 inches in Memphis, Oxford 2 to 4 inches, Tupelo 2 inches. Corinth, I think how you pronounce it, 4 to 6 inches of snow. I would go in the lower end of that. Jackson, 4 to 6 inches of snow. Florence is showing up on here, 2 to 4 inches of snow. Jonesboro, 2 to 4 inches. So, I mean, look at this. This is a nice event. This is a major event. I mean, this is going to be dry snow. I'm going to tell you right now in these areas, this is not going to be snow you can build a snowman with. I'm sorry to break the news to you for your folks and for your folks that got kids. This will be an awesome snow to slide around in for sledding, things like that, because it's going to be so dry. National Weather Service up here in Paducah, Kentucky. Just some winter weather advisories. Paducah going for 1 to 2 inches of snow. Murray, 1 to 3 inches. Hopkinsville, 1 to 3 inches. Poplar Bluff, 1 to 2 inches of snow. Not a big event, but certainly some light snowfall accumulations in this area. And then we go down to Birmingham. No snow predicted for Birmingham, but you go up to Hamilton, 1 to 2 inches of snow possible. Gadsden, inch or less. So I mean, it's starting to show up on the screen. They don't have any ice graphics right now. I'm sure they will soon. Then we go up into Huntsville. National Weather Service in Huntsville. They're saying 2 to 3 inches of snow here. Huntsville, 2 inches. Fayetteville into Tennessee, 2 to 3 inches of snow. Sewanee, 2 to 3 inches of snow. Stephenville, 1 to 2 inches of snow. And you go down to Coleman, maybe an inch or less. So definitely probably going to issue a winter storm warning in this region. And I could see snowfall accumulations increasing in this area. Then bang, I know this is very big on your screen. National Weather Service in Nashville. They're going for a solid 2 to 3 inches of snow in Nashville. Lafayette, same thing. Pretty much, 3 to 4 inches. Pretty much everybody in this graphic looks like 3 to 4 inches. You see the darker blue, that's probably more so 4 to 5 inches of snow. But, check this out. Great graphic from our friends here in the National Weather Service in Nashville. And then I got a lot of people that I know in this region. I'm excited for them. They don't have a great graphic in this region, but they say, and this unfortunately was updated like 10 a.m. this morning. But this is the percent chance to see 2 inches of snow going for, pretty solid high totals. Got about a 50-50 shot in Chattanooga. And in fact, we're going to try to see if they have a better graphic up. Let's see if they got anything up. No, still the same graphic. I love this area, and the Morristown National Weather Service, lags on their graphics a good bit. Not a knock on them. It's just they don't update their stuff really fast. But Gatlinburg, you're taking a back weekend loaded trip. You're going to see some snow. But I'm excited about my people in the valley here. This area right in here typically gets kind of gypped, especially down here in the southern sections of the valley. But you got a solid chance here to see accumulating snow. So, moving past this, I want to show you the rest of the eastern U.S. This is looking like a light event. We're getting into Tuesday morning. There's your light, maybe moderate snow in the Delmarva region. And you keep this going, we have to watch still this low pressure that tries to develop. Looks like the Euro had it right all along. Remember the GFS showing that crazy run inland? And yes, my folks in West Virginia, I know. But I'm telling you, I think this event could deliver a few inches of snow into West Virginia. You don't have any winter weather alerts, but I think snow moves into West Virginia. sometime late Monday night and Tuesday morning. And it's not going to add up to a lot, but it's going to be very cold. And I still think it'll make most of the state look like a winter wonderland. I think the snow squall could do that for the northern sections of the state tomorrow. But, just light snow Sunday afternoon into pretty much, almost a good chunk of the Northeast. But we will see if this low tries to crank up right here, deliver some heavier snow into southern New England, and then it pulls on out. But the National Weather Service forecast in 24-hour increments here shows the signal right here. Hey, look, that throws an inch and a half of snow in D.C., the Delmarva area, where you guys haven't gotten a lot of snow. An inch or two of snow is possible with this as we get into early next week. And then D.C., Baltimore, I'm sorry, up to Philadelphia, New York City, 1 to 2 inch snowfall amount. Same thing kind of up into the Boston region. So, some light snowfall accumulations are possible early to midway next week from this system. This could increase. You got to watch for updates for this. You do. Because who knows, you could get more precipitation thrown back into this. It's very possible. Let's give you some brief information, then we'll wrap this up on the Arctic air. This is predicted lows for Monday morning. Snow's already on the ground in these areas, going for -1 in Oklahoma City, pretty much 0 degrees in Tulsa, mid-teens in Dallas-Fort Worth area with precipitation probably ongoing. Pretty wild stuff. We don't get anything cool like that. And I know people are probably thinking, Mitch, that's not cool, but quite literally, it is actually cool. But, we struggle enough to even get winter weather here in South Carolina, let alone winter weather and temperatures in the teens. I know last winter in Dallas-Fort Worth area, you had thunderstorms of sleet in the Dallas-Fort Worth area with temperatures in the teens. It was ridiculous. And we don't get anything like that east of the Appalachian Mountains. So, but anyways, I don't want to let my jealousy show too much, folks. But single digits into pretty much all the south central U.S. You see 7-8 degrees in Memphis, same thing in Little Rock, and temperatures begin to moderate somewhat. But then it gets very cold for our folks in the south, and we go on and switch it to the east, and we'll back this up a little bit here. Here it is. I think your coldest night. We're all over the place. Look at that cold air moving in Monday morning. You're already into the teens for most of Tennessee. Look at those temperatures Tuesday morning. It's just typical winter-type morning east of the Appalachian Mountains. Totally different story, totally different world west of the Apps. All right, and then you keep going, and then look at those. I think temperatures, I think someone's going to get below zero somewhere across the Mid-South with snowpack in place. I think that, it even shows this. Look in northern. Look at this. This is unreal. It really is. I'm going to do this on the fly. Look at the projected lows. And look, they're doing this because this is where they're thinking the heavy snow is going to be. Right into here. This is low temperatures Wednesday morning, folks. They're going for someone getting below zero just south of Memphis in the Mississippi Delta region. Unreal, folks. But here we are. That's all I got, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. God bless all y'all, and have an awesome night.